Do you feel like you're doing everything right on social media, but people just seem to keep scrolling past your content anyway? It might be because you're making one of these big mistakes that we see on social media all the time, and they are really easy to fall prey to, especially if you're running all of your social media accounts all by yourself. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the top mistakes people make on social media that gets them ignored, along with the quick and easy ways to fix them. It's all backed by data and real-world behavior, and you'll walk away from this video knowing how to post better social media content instantly. As always, this video has timestamps, so feel free to skip around to the parts of the video that will help you the most, and stick around to the end where I'm going to share a quick tip that I think a lot of business owners miss. In case we haven't met yet, my name's Tori. I'm a social media and AI strategist, and I help solopreneurs and small brand builders grow on social media without the stress and finally feel good about how they're showing up online. If that sounds like something you're into, hit that subscribe button and let's jump into it. Mistake number 1 is starting with a weak or confusing hook. You've probably heard about hooks in social media by now and the importance of hooking your viewer instantly. And the reason is there's a lot of data to back this up. A recent meta research study shows that people make an opinion within the first half a second of watching your content. And on Instagram specifically, it takes that half second or that first line or that first visual impression to decide whether or not they're going to keep watching. So when your first line is too vague or too slow, you lose people before they even get a chance to see all the work and value you've put into your posts. We see this all the time on social media when people start up a video and say, "Happy Monday, friends," or "Recently I've been thinking," or "Everybody's been asking." We see a lot of those, right? And I think it's because we want to seem friendly and more approachable. We don't want to come across as salesy or pushy. But that can be an issue when it comes to hooking people and keeping them looking at your content. So for an example, next time you're creating content, instead of starting with "Happy Monday, hope you all had a great weekend," let's try something like this. You could be saving 10 hours this week, but you're not yet. It's not being dramatic, it's not being pushy, it's being really clear about what you're providing in this video to get people to keep watching. Mistake number 2 is trying to say way too much in one post. Now, if you're putting into one social media post your top 5 tips plus your entire framework, and also a checklist, you're going to overwhelm people, even if the information is super helpful. Studies show that cognitive overload causes people to disengage within seconds. And in fact, posts with one clear message get 37% better engagement than posts that have multiple points they're trying to get across. And that's because social media is meant for clear takeaways, clear messaging, clear actionable items, and not everything all at once. We've talked about this in my videos before, where when people come to social media to scroll, they're not using their best brain, right? We don't have the high IQ moments when we're scrolling through social media. That's when we have to be really clear about what we're trying to get across and what we want our audience to do with it. So instead of a social media post that says, "Here are the 8 steps to launch your website," let's try instead something much more simple, like the one headline tweak that makes your homepage convert better. Think about it like little micro wins for people as they're scrolling social media. One post, one idea, one action. Mistake number 3 is generic messaging. Now, this one is really sneaky, and I've definitely done it. It's when we post things like "mindset is everything," and "consistency is the key to results," and "design your dream life." While all of these are true statements and can generally be really motivating, sometimes they just don't land. And that's because people need specificity. According to a 2024 study, 78% of consumers said they were more likely to engage with brands that stood out by being specific. Your content needs to be specific to connect with your audience. So instead of vague motivation or broad advice, focus in on specific moments, the transformations, or relatable examples. Think about things that your audience actually goes through, moments in their life where they can really relate to this broader advice. We want to make them feel seen in your content. I think this mistake might be one of the harder ones to fix for most people because you might be a little anxious about missing the mark, right? What if this doesn't speak to my exact audience member? Or what if I want to speak to all of my audience members and this doesn't really apply to everyone? So I want to give an example here to kind of help you visualize what I'm talking about. Let's start with a quote, a motivational quote. Success is believing in yourself. Great quote, totally true. It might really speak to you, but it's not going to get a whole lot of engagement. Now, if you're a life coach, instead of posting that broad quote, we could come up with something a little bit more specific to your audience. And it could say something like, when you keep a promise to yourself, like getting up early every day for a week, that's when confidence starts to build. Success comes in tiny steps, not big leaps. That's going to feel much more relatable to your audience, and it's the same sentiment and the same motivation. Or if you are a financial advisor and you want to pull on that same motivating quote or a similar motivating quote, what if instead we got more specific and said something like, budgeting is not about cutting out lattes. It's about finally feeling calm when you check your bank balance on a Friday night. That's going to speak to your audience much better than success comes when you believe in yourself. Mistake number 4 is no visual clarity. Even amazing content gets ignored if it looks messy or overwhelming. So if your caption is a block, a wall of text with no spacing, or if your carousel has 5 different fonts and no white space, it's not going to be read. According to eye tracking studies, did you know that we actually read less than 30% of the text on a page? The rest of it we skim. So content that uses bold headlines and bullets and a lot of white space around text is much more likely to be engaged with. When people come on social media, they are skimming and scrolling. They're not there to read. Try using bolding, a lot of text breaks, white space, clean visuals. Really let your design guide the eye through your content, because being really clear is going to be better than being clever. And if you want some extra help on this, you can Google how to make content skimmable, but I think your best bet is to head over to ChatGPT and ask it to help you make your content look more skimmable. You can copy and paste your caption right in, and it'll help you add the bullets and make it much more readable for someone just scrolling social media. Mistake number 5 is no emotional relevance. Even the most helpful content will fall flat if it doesn't speak to someone emotionally. A recent study in 2023 showed that content that resonates emotionally is more than twice as likely to drive engagement, and behavioral psychologists agree that emotion is much more likely to drive action than logic. Think about what makes you click to buy on social media, or what makes you save content or share it. Usually it's because we feel seen or understood or inspired or hopeful, or like this post will make our lives better in some way, or this product will make our lives better. So that's the question we need to ask when we're creating social media content. How will this make my audience feel? Not just practicality, but emotion. If you need help brainstorming on this, try asking yourself some questions to help you kind of connect the dots to how your audience might be emotionally. So for example, how will this content, or how will knowing this piece of information make them feel? Or what will they feel if this transforms for them what it transformed for me, the before and after transformation? How will that make them feel emotionally? Drawing on these things can really help kind of inspire you to think about it from more of a feelings or emotional standpoint, to share why it matters to them. So let's get to some examples. If you are a website designer, instead of saying something like 3 steps to a better homepage, what if we said, do you cringe when people visit your website? Let's fix that so people can see how great your work really is. Or if you're a productivity coach, you could say something like, if your to-do list makes you want to run away, you're not lazy, you're overwhelmed. Let's fix it so you can stop burning out. Lots of feelings words in that one. So drawing on that emotion to really show people why they should care, why they should connect with your content. And finally, mistake number 6, no clear CTA. If you don't know what a CTA is, it stands for call to action, and it's basically what you put in any piece of marketing to get people to take the next step. Again, when people are on social media not using their best brain, right? We're skimming, we're scanning, we're scrolling. We need to tell people exactly what we want them to do with this piece of content. So instead of hope this helps, which is really friendly and kind, what if we say, want the rest of the checklist? Links in the bio. Or you've probably seen on Instagram a lot now, people will say, DM me the word plan and I'll send you my workflow or something to that effect. Then they can either get an automated message or you can DM them whatever link you wanted to give them. Or it could be just save this to come back to later. Because again, we're not using our best brains. But if you tell them, this is really important, you should save this for when you're in that right mindset, they're much more likely to do it. Here's a quick recap of the social media mistakes in case you are hopping around and want to get them all in one place. The mistakes we want to avoid are weak or vague hooks, too much info in one post, generic advice with no specifics, cluttered or hard to read visuals, no emotional connection, and no call to action. Fixing even just one of these can really improve your engagement, but if you do all 6, you're going to have a totally different feed. If this video was helpful and you're looking to take the next step on your social media, I have another video waiting for you. I highly recommend it. In it, I walk through exactly how to set up your social media strategy to save you time and give you less stress with a free fillable guide. It's literally a screen share where I walk you through the entire thing. Hop on over there next. And now for the bonus tip I promised at the beginning of the video. I think this tip falls under mistake number 1 when it comes to hooking your audience and keeping them engaged right from the get-go, from the very beginning. The tip is to avoid the millennial pause. It's a term that was coined for millennials. Millennials are not the only ones to do it. But once you know about this, you're going to notice it a lot on videos. When your video starts, there shouldn't be a pause or a breath. It should start right away on the words. So when you're filming your video, you trim off the beginning and the end to start directly when you start speaking. We don't want to start a video going, and then starting to speak. That's already most of your half a second and you've lost them. So avoid that millennial pause, trim down your videos, and you'll be good to go. You've got this. I'm cheering you on. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay social.